Hi guys, so this is going to be a 3-question career reading in the style of the, for right now they're $12 3-question readings for career, love, friendship, other things, but this is just going to be the career one, just as an example. And also because I felt like, I've been wanting to do these sample readings of what I do with my other listings. And with the last reading I did for the new moon in Libra, some career stuff came up. So I figured, you know what, now is the right time to do this one. So we're going to be looking at about 3 cards for each, unless more want to just come toppling out and maybe look at the back of the deck. So the first question we're going to be looking at is, this is not going to be a pick a pile. All 3 spreads are going to be for everybody who wants to click onto this. So it's just going to be if you feel called to it. I thought about whether I wanted to do a pick a pile or not. And for right now, just no, because I feel like a specific energy wanted to come through with the lunar reading, and we're just going to focus in on that. I may do pick a piles in the future, but for right now, we're just going to focus on whoever feels called to this. Maybe not all parts of this reading or all of the questions coming forward are going to feel like they resonate as something you want to think about or talk about. So just, if something does come up that does resonate, take that and leave whatever doesn't, because this is a general reading. So if several people are watching, there may be something for somebody and something for somebody else, something for you, something that isn't for you. But we're going to focus on what is your higher calling in life. And by that, I'm not talking about your North Node calling of who you're supposed to be, how you're supposed to spiritually grow, who your soul is supposed to grow into. I'm talking more about that midheaven energy of what you're supposed to accomplish in this lifetime. So there's a bit of a difference. Both are pointing you forward into who you're supposed to be in a way, but the North Node's more about who you are soulfully supposed to be, and the Midheaven's more about what your soul incarnated here for you to accomplish. So we're going to be focusing on that. We're going to be focusing on that Midheaven-like energy, Mars-like energy. What are you here to work out? What are you here to accomplish that may or may not, for some of you, coincide with your 6th house energies of how you're here to do service, how you're here to work, what you're here to be maybe compensated for, what you're here to figure out how to balance service and being compensated fairly. That does come up a bit in the last, the lunar reading, but this is more about that inspirational 10th house energy of what you're really here to be to the world. And maybe your world isn't the whole globe. For some people it might be. It might just be your community. It might be your family, depending, like if you have a Cancer midheaven, that might be how it is demonstrated for you. But we're just going to see whatever comes up for whoever is feeling called to watch this. So that's the first question. What am I really here to do? What are, my gifts and talents, maybe, is what we're going to look for in here. But really, what is my higher calling? What is my midheaven energy? What am I meant to do in this life? Then this is going to be the second question of, what are my hidden gifts and talents that are being utilized? This can maybe go into 6th house, 10th house stuff balanced out together. What can you really accomplish? What are your tools for accomplishing things, right? What do you have kind of hidden? Maybe not hidden from you, maybe hidden from others, maybe hidden from you. We'll see how that comes out in the cards. And then lastly, we're going to look at, are your gifts being utilized in your life in a way that is honoring you? So the question you might ask in the reading is this the right workplace for me? Am I living my life's purpose with this workplace? That kind of thing. So we'll see what comes up there. So this is not a pick a pile. I'm just showing the 3 decks so you see kind of what's going on, since I haven't done this kind of reading yet so far. And yeah, Spirit of Wands. Already I'm seeing some of you are very creative people indeed. That's the Ace of Wands right there, I think. Yeah, so let's see. 10 of Cups. What is this collective you know, midheaven, meant to accomplish in this life energy. Eight of Wands, that's very creative. Very creative, very interesting. Okay, that one wants to come forward too. The Sun, wow. I mean, and then on the back we have Serpentious Soul. I think that's Judgment energy. Yeah, this is just very... I like how he's got like almost like a crown of stars or something going on here. This is a very enlightening energy. And it's almost like overcoming difficulty here with the way he's dressed. He's got one foot on the land, one foot in the water, similar to how the Star card has. And he's got wings on one side and a serpent on the other. I feel like it's about overcoming... I think you're meant to be... I've called somebody this who came onto my server recently, a way finder. That's somebody who finds a new way. Instead of following somebody else's path, you find a new way. And I think it's coming because often, like the serpent right underneath there, Sophia, that's knowledge. This is like a nice loosely bound around her Kundalini rising type energy. Knowledge, but that deep, passionate inner knowledge and wisdom that comes from being attuned with your inner self and with spirit. Here, it's almost like his wing has been cut off on one side and he's meant to fly, right? So it's really about, but he's finding this enlightenment because, you know, he's finding this sunshine within him, this warmth, this creative spark, because Leo in the 5th house very much correlate with that energy. I feel like, and we even have a mountain in the background. It's almost like it's saying he's had a mountain to climb up to get to where he is. Maybe to regrow his wings or find a new way to fly, really overcoming that sense of restriction, very tightly gripping here. Not the most positive display of the serpent in this deck, whereas in other cards, much more positive. And we even have what looks almost like a cosmic egg here. It's almost like he needs to break out of his shell to have that rebirth that's associated with judgment. Again, we have the decaying and the scales that showed up in the lunar reading. And we have like an evenly balanced cross here, like an equilateral cross, and a fire that's almost stoking this egg. It's almost like it's a dragon egg or something, and a waning crescent, really letting go of something old so that this rebirth can happen. And we even have like a divine eye, a balancing between the sun and the moon. What's so fascinating to me is that this eye is crying whole pools of tears. In finding that inner balance, you're like really needing to release something that's gripping you. Maybe something that made you feel like, because 8 of Wands is that flight energy. In like the Rider-Waite-Smith, you see like 8 wands just flying through the air. And these mountains have turned into beautiful crystals that point towards the heavens. And I'm almost getting like a rose quartz vibe here. Very in tune with her solar plexus and her heart. The like cloth that's wrapped around this mummy is unraveling. This rebirth is happening now. She's in a circle of fire, almost like a manifesting circle, with it being on the ground like this. She's really the phoenix rising from the ashes, coming out of that egg. And you're needing to release something. Something is holding you back, the sense of maybe grief that you didn't get the support that you really needed. Whether that was support getting out of an abusive situation, a bad work environment, you were told that you couldn't do creative work for a living. Growing up, I feel there are creative people here. And again, you have to do whatever's right for you. If you really want to do traffic control for your daytime job and find a job that gives you enough time to do creative work at night, even if you're not getting paid much for it, that's valid for some people. Other people want to do full-time work doing something creative. Whatever works for you, just as long as you're able to find that way of getting that stability you need, for sure, with the equilateral cross here, but also, and with the, you know, mountain imagery, but also whatever makes your heart feel healed, with that very rose quartz energy showing up here, and the tears needing to come out, really needing to, and this eye is like tilted this way. That's a very third eye look, right? Being able to see with your soul what's going on instead of just the material limitations around you. You know, these mountains turn into mountains of rose quartz when you're looking with that divine eye. You're really being called upon to see what's possible for you outside of whatever limitation. You might already be working in a creative environment, but let's say that it wasn't what you hoped it would be. You wanted to be an animator, but you went and worked for Disney, and well, now you're on a animator strike because Disney isn't paying you right or putting you through crap. I'm not hating on Disney. I love so many Disney movies, but I know people who've worked in that company who hate it, just as one example among many. Whatever is going on for you, whether it was you were told that you couldn't work in something creative and you've held yourself back, or you're doing creative work, but it's not what you hoped it would be. You're not getting to be creative. It's sucking the creativity out of you because you're doing this work that doesn't feel fulfilling, maybe doesn't feel ethical in some cases, or it feels like not dignified in some way. It's about finding how to unravel all of that and, you know, not be a mummy anymore, not feel like you're dead inside, and really do what makes you feel alive, what activates that solar plexus, your internal power source. There's the sun again, your heart as well, with the moon and the sun being balanced here. Yeah, so your path in life is to be a wayfinder. It's to be somebody who finds a new way to do things than the path that has been laid out for you. And you're told, well, these are the only ways you can do that thing that you want, or you can't do it at all, you have to do this. Your energy in life, whether it's an aspect to your midheaven, the sign it's in, whatever planets are in the house with it, maybe a transit or progression, something about your moment right now with the midheaven is finding out how to find a new way. You know, balancing maybe that wisdom of what comes from having experience or being told knowledge about the old, but really needing to be reborn and see these mountains in a whole new way. Really letting go of all the trauma of what you've been put through, because I'm seeing something difficult and almost feeling too contained, because this egg is a beautiful energy, but you know, you can't live life while you're inside the egg. You're waiting to burst out of it. And I feel like you're needing to birth a whole new life here, birth a whole new way of doing things. So let's see what some of your hidden talents might be. Already the Queen of Cups, this I'm seeing, because cups can be kind of music, art, spirituality. There's some of that with the wands as well, but it's very emotional expressiveness. We have these children here. Maybe inspired by events that you've been through in your childhood, inspired by getting back in touch with the inner child. Let's see what wants to come through for Two of Wands. Getting almost a Fool-like imagery from that as well, even though usually the pages are resonating with the Fool. That wants to come through. Yeah. Okay, maybe just go straight to Three of Wands and the Tower. Okay. And the Star. Okay, we'll take both. And the Ace of Wands again. There's your creativity. We get like this wise owl and this young child. It's balancing that wisdom from experience with this very childlike creative energy. And what's interesting is this tower is not falling apart, but it does have like this kind of threatening energy from the cloud coming in here. I think in this hope and healing. Somebody might be a dancer. Somebody might have a hidden talent or just a talent of being a dancer with that coming through. Somebody might be a bit of a comedian or like a very funny writer, knows how to make people laugh to heal. Somebody is a very talented manifester. You're able to take ideas and put them physically into something, either through drawing or art, or maybe you're just really good at like organizing business, but you love to organize events for people. Something that meshes material manifestation with creativity here. And really overcoming limitations. Three of Wands. Somebody's good at teamwork and collaborating. I think somebody here is good at taking other people's concepts and ideas and elevating them. because we have two people here contributing to something. We almost have this King of Pentacles like energy coming in here and elevating it. I'm also seeing somebody is good at taking two very passionate ways of looking at things that might seem opposed, and with the globe up here, almost finding a way to work them out, a way to hash it out, not through avoidance, but through taking the best of both and finding out what works. I'm seeing very leadership qualities here. Very leadership qualities here, being able to stand tall even in the face of opposition, being able to heal. Somebody might let go of a lot of, you know, being wise and still having that childlike innocence and creativity. And then we have the Ace of Cups under that as well. And then the Queen of Cups again, so we're back to the start. Yeah, there we go. Very emotionally expressive. If you're in a corporate environment, you're able to empathize with people very well. Where other people around you might be kind of clinical and terse and difficult with communicating with employees. I'm seeing a very beautiful ability. If anybody's ever told you that because you have, you know you like to do things a certain way, that you're not good at collaborating or being a team player, that's not true. You are, but you just see how something can be elevated, and sometimes other people don't always want to give your vision a chance. You're able to really get through it, though. I think you're able to convince people with enough time. You have the patience to convince people. We're going to look in a moment and see, because with the lunar reading, it was clear that somebody was in an environment where they just were not being listened to or being able to breathe. But we'll see if for this reading, something else comes forward. We even have like a heart coming through here, this like little winged animal. It's like almost looks like a winged fish. It's very trippy, very creative, very able to look at things in a kind of psychedelic, abstract way. Like a heart being brought down from the skies, very much blending your thoughts and your feelings, able to be grounded, but still in the emotions at the same time. You may use physical exertion of the body to help get your emotions out. Somebody might even be an athlete or a coach, like a high school coach or something. And I don't think I usually see this much fire around the background of the tree. It's like it's standing tall right now, but it's really encroaching. There's so much potential where you can, with the right environment, you can really work well with people and collaborate better than I probably can, whoever this is for. But you really need the right environment that allows you to express yourself in this way, where you're feeling protected and you're able to be, wise and discerning, but still express that beautiful, innocent, joyful, creative side of yourself. I see somebody here might be willing to, because this is like on a very fantastical animal, very different from other King of Pentacles that are usually very firmly planted on the ground. This one can fly, right? It looks like he's ready to go off and fly. This is somebody who knows how to make something practical take place, but other people might think, oh yeah, right, when pigs fly, when fish fly. Maybe they don't want to hear your different way of doing things because you're a wayfinder, right? Whereas other people are used to taking the path that's already been traveled. You are a wayfinder. And people are worried about all this. You're like, no, I know how to stand tall. I know how to do this. There's almost a sense of you maybe not being taken seriously with this almost Joker-like imagery, but you do know what you're doing. You do know how to do what you're doing, and maybe there is a need for some advice or, external input for that stability, but I'm not seeing anything. Hold on just a second, I'm going to take a drink. That's better. I'm almost seeing, maybe because people see, it's not that you're not giving off the right impression, because there are people who give off the wrong impression because they're behaving foolishly or not respectfully or in a silly way. I'm seeing that you are actually very capable of being very serious and respectful, but maybe people don't take you seriously sometimes because you give ideas that nobody's thought of before and they just automatically dismiss it. Kind of like, you know, Copernicus saying that the earth revolves around the sun and not the other way around. You've got this different way of looking at things. Even with the eye that showed up here, you have a different angle. You see with your spiritual eye, you see from inspiration, and not everybody always knows how to be on board with that. But with the right group, you could really collaborate really well with the right people. Let me see if you are indeed right now with the right people, and if not, we're going to pull some advice cards. You know, already we've got some contemplation going on here. Let's see. These ones are so big. Are you in the right work environment for you? Are you in the right work environment to utilize your path, your hidden talents? Oh, gosh. So this is going to be changing for the better. If you're in a losing situation, it's going to go into more of a winning situation. I just did a reading recently with this deck for somebody. And this can be seen as like creative, inspired, unlocking the key to your imagination. But I do want to say that in this reading, and this is a life path of 3, very creative energy. You might not have a 3 as your life path number. You could be in a transit or in a pinnacle or in a year of 3 or a month of 3, something with the number 3 could be going on for you numerologically. Worth looking into your charts for that. But if not, and I like how we have all these stars in the background as well, very inspired, very healing. But there's almost this sense that this person is doing this all alone in their room. Their wand's a little bit bent. There's this childlike energy. And it was next to a card where the other character looks similar to this, because there are characters that look different. A similar looking character was like wearing a mask and felt almost like puppet strings were being pulled. So we'll see if we're coming out of that negative energy that we saw in the lunar reading and another reading I did for somebody else. And we have like even an arrow pointing to your true north here. The color of black, grounding, being grounded in your inspired path, knowing where your compass is pointing you. And we do have the Fool for the back of the deck. Let's see if we get it again. I do see a bit of a childlike innocence and new start beginning. Is this the right workplace for you to utilize your talents and gifts? Are you with the right people? Yeah. Again, and we have a Whip here. And the Page. Again, with like a bent wand. Almost just sitting there. There's so much potential. So I want to say that you're in the right field. You're in the right ballpark, but maybe you're needing to be the one expressing this Empress energy. I do have the 3 and then 3 showing up again here, but with the shield, almost a military type symbol, the globe, very corporate type symbol, globalist companies, and the Whip, and even a spike coming off of her. This is not the most usually the Empress looks very inviting, very receptive, abundant, lots of trees and fruit around her, very sweet, very creative. This Empress she's literally looking down her nose at you. And there's a strictness here. Literally her boot heels have spikes on them. And on the one hand, this could be just saying you needing to be in your boss B-word energy to like overcome and turn things in your favor. That could be the energy coming through here. I like how this one, it's almost like being able to see the light, right? So this person is like encapsulated in this energy. And then this one, the wand's like a little bit bigger. The inspiration's coming, jutting out of the table. There's a window, he can see the outside. We have a club, the suit of the clubs on his head, which is passionate but also willing to be. Club is this, so in the tarot, the swords is representative of air, and in poker cards, the spades are more of a laboring suit, whereas in the Tarot, the swords are a warlike suit to some extent. In the poker cards, it's flipped around a bit. The clubs are the weapon and the spades are the laboring tool. Or even just a tool for sport or something with the clubs, but it's definitely more competitive and combative than the spades. I feel like and it's right on his head, I feel like there's like this willingness to maybe, and there's like a little question mark here. It's almost like, I'm not sure, am I willing to fight for this? Am I willing to fight for this and be able to do this creative thing and unlock this and do this thing that I love? Am I willing to step up, maybe stand up to this person? We have Temperance here. With Sagittarius, obviously it is ruled by Sagittarius. Very quirky, right? Whereas everybody else is kind of like dressed proper. This one's got like a mohawk and is almost like in defiance of this Empress energy here. Very willing to spread her wings. Yeah, I would say yes. I think because this is a general reading, you might be in the right environment for you, and you might just be needing to take on this boss energy. Whether you're literally the boss or not, just being, you know, sovereign in yourself and standing your ground within it and riding it out. You might be looking for an escape though, and doing things your own way in a very unique way. I think for some people, the answer is going to be no, and you might want to be a bit more discerning about whether it is for you or not. I'm seeing it could be one way or another. It depends on your individual situation. If you feel like when you're looking at this card and this card next to each other, you're like, oh, I'm this, and this other person is looking down their nose at me and is cracking the whip, and I don't feel like I can come out of this enclosed room and be creative, then that is your answer. That no, you might need to do a different workplace and try to switch who your employer is, even if you're in the right field. On the other hand, if you're looking at this and saying, oh, that's so sweet, I want to go into that space and create all by myself and do things alone, you might have the right, that could still be not being in the right work environment and needing to work independently, and needing to get away from this very corporate atmosphere. On the other hand, you might be in the right job, but maybe you need to do more work from home. Just ask to do more remote work or something. Just figure out what it is for you that works. I'm feeling for a lot of people, something with this Wheel of Fortune here needs to change. Whether you're in the right field or the right workplace and something about it can be changed just by talking with your superiors and working out a different arrangement, awesome. If that can't be worked out because this energy is feeling too strict and it's not about you embodying, because I could see this person working for themselves and really being that boss, right? Being the hustler, the entrepreneur, right? And that could be a very cool energy for you if you feel empowered looking at this. If you don't, I would say the answer might be that you need to strike out and just be independent if this is just feeling like an oppressive energy, or you might need a different employer. We're going to get some more clarification about, I'm going to go ahead and do this for more clarification. What else do you want to say about this work environment for this community? I know it's a lot of different people, Spirit, but let's see what wants to come forward. Yeah, so we're looking at that creative dreaminess with Neptune there. And then Venus. Gemini. So you might have like a partner. 10th house, perfect. I'm seeing some people needing to overcome some kind of karmic situation where they feel like, even with the 12th house here, maybe there was some kind of spiritual service that was being fulfilled by working within this community. You maybe inspired somebody else. It might be a past life connection where you really had the chance to make an impact on them. But it might be time. Let me pull one more just to see. Is it time to... Yeah. Crescent moon. Time to either finish something up or start something new. But it's definitely not, a full moon energy. It's not like Jupiter came out or something. Stick with it. It's something is needing to change about this. Some phase is needing to change about this. situation where you got into the situation because you were fulfilling some kind of role, some kind of karmic duty to inspire, to touch this person's or several people's lives in some way that you could only do initially in this environment. But now I'm seeing that this environment can change, and you can pursue your dreams. Somebody might have Neptune in the 10th house or Pisces as their 10th house energy. You might have somebody who feels more like, rather than this big group, you might feel like somebody who embodies that Venus nurturing energy in a better way rather than this very crack the whip energy. Might be a partner to you. And the 7th house is a house of partnerships. It's ruled by, it's not ruled by, but it's associated with Libra. And Venus and partnerships and romance, but it's also the house of like lawyers and stuff, right? And I'm seeing almost maybe a 7th house Venus, 10th house Venus, maybe even, where any kind of situation where you're not just in a big group, but partnerships of some kind. You might be a person who needs to get out of a family business or get out of a corporate atmosphere, and maybe you're wanting to work with a sibling or a very close friend or a spouse, somebody who well, we have the sun here, might be somebody with significant Leo, or just somebody who makes you feel like you're able to shine your light of your sun a bit better around them. Where you're not being overshadowed, because we have, Venus is pretty bright too. Venus can sometimes get overshadowed by the sun in certain transits. And sometimes outer planet energy can seem to kind of overshadow the sun a bit as well, because these bigger planetary energy. Just depending on the transit. I feel like somebody is feeling like, one more. What is this sun about? Wow. Wow. Gemini twice. So it's definitely, it might be somebody who shares a similar birthday to you. It might be somebody, you might literally have a twin, like a physical twin who you're wanting to work with. Somebody who feels like you're able to kind of read each other's minds and you're on the same page. About certain things with work. I'm also seeing Aquarius and Pisces on the side. See if those, and then 7 on the side here, and the moon on the side here, as well as Jupiter as I'm looking at this. And then like Saturn, which is also like maturity and other things. And then there we go, the 4th house. So yeah, so you might be needing to change this situation around. Maybe because children are a factor, or your home life. And you can no longer stay in this situation because you're wanting to change something with your home situation, or you're needing to devote more time and effort to your home situation, so this situation can't go on. Yeah. I find it pretty fascinating that Gemini came up twice. I really feel like somebody's wanting to, and also it's very childlike with Leo here, so somebody who makes you feel like you can express your inner child in a responsible way, with Saturn coming up. We also have the 11th house, so this might be somebody who feels like a true ally to you in a broader context, like somebody you can, almost who has a philanthropic energy, right? Somebody who you feel like really cares about people. Whereas in this situation, you might feel like, oh, sure, they care about people. They care about telling people what to do with their careers and their lives. Right. Yeah, definitely just a following your intuition thing going on here. About whether you feel like you can pursue what matters to you and also keep in this situation at the same time. And he's seeing something about with the 4th house coming up, somebody might have Gemini children. And that might be something that's a factor in why you're feeling like this situation with this unhappy workplace needs to change. Let's see what else wants to come through. Ooh. Now, okay, so we have the Chariot, which in tarot is very much about strategizing, but in the runes, it's get the F out of here, right? Again, we see that rebirthing, very able to withstand the fires with that tarot here, that birch bergano energy. I feel like this is saying, because if something feels like it's hailing down on top of you, or if you're being I don't know, bludgeoned to death, that's a bit morbid, but that's the energy I'm getting here, is somebody feeling a bit bludgeoned to death. And then we have, this always reminds me of like the symbolism of the yew tree, and the death card, a kind of rebirthing energy, really able to withstand and overcome toxic situations. So these two are kind of repeating a similar energy. This one's a bit darker and this one's a bit brighter, but it's a similar resilience. But this is saying even the most resilient things, it's like you don't want that fire going on forever. You don't have to feel like you're being pelted with just constant nonsense. I feel like somebody feels really held back here with this enclosed room thing. It's like maybe you've created all this stuff, but there's nowhere to let it come out. And there's like this little window and you're like, oh, okay, maybe it's almost like he's fashioning a plug for this window. It's like, do I want to put this in here or take this off my wand and disempower my wand to plug this wall up so I can't get any way out and I've got all this stuff enclosed in here? Or do I want to go out there and explore what my options are with work? And I think it's really time. I think exploring options is the message here. Explore what your options are with work and don't think that what you've been doing is the only thing that you can do, or that the way you're going about it is the only way you can go about it. Let's see what else wants to come forward here. We're going to wrap it up with the Journey Oracle. Will, confidence, yeah, standing up for yourself, finding the will to do things in your own way. Winter, reflection, plan. That's reminding me of this a little bit. And even here, we've got like this pelting down energy. It's like somebody's feeling like all this fire needs to melt some of that stagnancy from the ice, I feel. And then web connection. Yeah, and this might literally be finding people online to connect with, or putting your work on a portfolio online. Because usually there is a very deep spiritual meaning with that as well. Signs, discernment. Yeah, look at the signs and discern what works. Exactly. That's what I was saying about, there's definitely a bit of intuition going on here. Like, don't just take what's in here. Take what you pick up from these as well. I'm seeing that somebody is needing to connect with somebody through online, maybe to schedule an interview, put a portfolio of your work out there, do something to break the mold, break up the monotony, something different, something about online can help you out a lot here. And who knows, maybe the internet won't last forever with the way things are going, but you might find that right now. Even if you decide to have other brick and mortar things later on, having that web presence for yourself, not just on the company website or something, but specifically for you, I think would help a lot for a lot of people. I think that is going to wrap up this career reading. I hope that was helpful for somebody. And I'm wishing everybody who's dealing with the various situations, I saw like maybe 5 different potential situations that are all similar in some ways showing up here. But I hope everybody who's dealing with these different situations finds a solution that works best for them. And I hope that some insight from this helped you to reflect and figure out what you want to do. Good luck, guys.